To subtract mixed numbers, the same thing as adding mixed numbers, okay? Except that we're going to have to regroup if it's necessary. And we're going to see an example right here. And I like these two examples because they don't have mixed numbers, they have whole numbers. And we're going to get to see that in just a few minutes, okay? So let's see. Let's do this one right here. Let's see what happens, okay? So I'm going to do this one here. And the first thing I'm going to do is, I notice that there's nothing sitting right here, right? 8 and 5 and 8 and, or 8 over 12, 8 twelves minus nothing is going to be 8 over 12, right? So this one's really easy. All you have to do is subtract the two whole numbers. 5 minus 4 is 1, and 8 twelves minus nothing, you don't take anything away from it, well, that's going to give you 8 twelves. Now careful, you're going to be tempted to leave it like this, but this is not simplified. You have to simplify it all the way. So make sure that you divide. In this case, we can divide by 4, and we end up with 2 on the top and 3 on the bottom, and bring my whole number over, and my final answer is 1 and 2/3. Okay, that one's easy. But what about this one? This one we have nothing right here. Is it going to be the same way where you end up with 2/3 over here and 5 minus nothing? If we look at the whole numbers here and the whole number there, 5 minus nothing is just 5. Be careful because that's not the right answer. So let me erase that. Whenever you subtract things, remember that order does matter. So what I have to do here, I have to change that 5 to a 4. And because my denominator is 3 here, I want to write that 1 that I took away from the 5, that whole number, that one whole, I want to rewrite it as 3 over 3. This is still worth 5, but I just rewrote it. I regrouped it. Okay, and the reason why I did that is because I have to subtract 2/3 from it. Okay, now I don't have anything to worry about the whole numbers because 4 minus nothing is just 4. But now I can go ahead and subtract my numerators. 3 minus 2 is 1, and we keep the denominator the same. So that's the trick when you have a whole number like that. Rewrite it as a whole number with a fraction, and make sure that you use the correct denominator. Look at the other fraction and see which denominator you're going to need and rewrite it. For example, if this number was a 7, then I would have rewrote that as 4 and 7 over 7, so I could go ahead and subtract whatever number was here. If that was a 5/7, then I could go ahead and subtract. So always rewrite this fraction right here, the whole number, using the denominator they give you on the other fraction, so that you don't have to go find the LCD. You're pretty much creating your own LCD by rewriting this whole number right here as the denominator, using the denominator for the other fraction. So hopefully that's very helpful to you. And now we're going to do the last one here. Actually, I'm going to skip that one, and I'm going to scroll down to the problem, to the word problem here. No, not that one. We're going to talk about this in class, words that mean addition and subtraction. But before we go into class, I want you to go ahead and write down the words that you think mean addition. If you see a word problem and it's talking about addition, what word would tell you it's addition? Go back to your through your notes, because we've already seen a couple of these problems, and see if you can identify those words that mean addition. See if you can identify the words that mean subtraction. Okay, write them down and see if we all agree whenever we get to class. Here's a problem. It's called a STAR tracker because it's kind of like what you can expect to see on the STAR test if they're testing whether or not you know how to add or subtract mixed numbers. Michael has 6 1/4 pounds of candy. He wants to give 3 1/2 pounds to his friend Katie and 1 3/4 pounds to his friend Markeisha. How many pounds of candy will Michael have left? Well, remember that he's giving stuff away, so we're going to have to subtract things from Michael's bag of candy. We start with a huge amount of candy, 6 1/4 pounds, and he's going to give 3 1/2 pounds away to Katie, and he's going to give 1 3/4 pounds of candy to Markeisha. So we can do this two ways. We can add the two things that we're going to be taking away. We can add these two things because they're both going to be taken away, and then just take whatever we get, take it away from this, or we can take one of these two at a time and then take the other one after that. So whichever way you prefer to do it. I like to add these two together first because I know how to take both of them away. So I'm going to go ahead and add 1 3/4 plus 3 1/2. Notice that the 2 and the 4 are different, so I have to rewrite them using my LCD. And in this case, the LCD is going to be a 4. So this one I don't have to do anything, I just leave it as 3/4, but this one I now have to multiply by 2. 2 times 2 is 4, and 1 times 2 is 2. So now when I have my whole numbers, I'm going to add them here at the end. 3 plus 2 is 5, so I have 5/4. And if I change this to an improper fraction, this is going to give me 1 and 1/4. And I just did the division in my head. You can do it too if you like on paper, or if you already know in your head, you can always do that. So now 1 plus 3, my whole numbers, that's going to give me 4. But I already have a 1 right here, right? So really, I'm going to add 1/4 plus this 1 and this 3. That gave me a whole number of 4. So 1 plus 4 is going to give me 5 and 1/4. And that's my final answer for how much he gave away. Okay, this is how much money he gave, not money, how much candy he gave away. So he started with 6 and 1/4. Now I have to subtract 5 and 1/4 from 6 and 1/4. And that's pretty simple because they're both fourths, and actually they're both 1/4. So I'm going to take 6 and 1/4, which is what he started with, take away 5 and 1/4 pounds of candy total between Katie and Marquisha. So the only thing I have to do now is, since I already have common denominators, I just have to subtract. 1 minus 1 is 0. So I get 0 over 4, and 6 minus 5 is 1. Now 0 over 4, that's nothing. That's same thing as saying 0 divided by 4. Well, that's 0. Or if you think about it, you have a pizza and you have 4 parts to the pizza, and you have 0 pieces of pizza left. Well, you have no pizza left. So this one really is nothing. It's just 0. So my answer is just 1. And the answer that I'm looking for correctly is not just 1, because this is a word problem. You actually have to say 1 pound of candy. That's how much candy he has left. Michael has left 1 pound. Okay, and this is the kind of problem that you can expect in the STAR test because it's a multi-step problem. Notice that we first had to do this. We first had to add the two fractions that were going to be taken away from the original amount, and that gave us this fraction right here, 5 and 1/4 pounds. Then we came back and we used it right here, 5 and 1/4, to take it away from what the original amount was, and that gave us our final answer, 1 pound of candy. So that's how you do that problem. And then the last problem is talking about Emmett and Rolando. Emmett is 4 and 1/2 inches tall, and Rolando is 2 and 5/8 inches shorter than Emmett. So how tall is Rolando? Okay, we don't know how tall Rolando is, the shorter guy. We do know how tall the big guy is. Emmett over here, if you look in your picture, it's 46 and 1/2 inches. So you got to take away 2 and 5/8 inches from Emmett's height so you can get to Rolando's height. So you're going to have to subtract both of these mixed numbers and you get your answer. And that's it. So hopefully this video has helped you out. And we'll see you in class. If you have any questions, don't forget to write them down and we can discuss them in class. When I ask you, are there any questions about the video, raise your hand, and if it's a really good question, you just might even get a prize. So thank you for watching.